Welcome back to another episode of The Road to 2200. I'm playing a 15-10 game today. I've got a little extra time. I'm down to 1927. Hopefully we can pull out a win today. We'll see. Or at least learn something valuable. Okay, so this is pretty normal setup for me. We're either going to see this or this. Is it going to be a QGD or this? I don't normally see that. What do I do against c5 there? Taking doesn't seem great. This is like a delayed Benoni. So if I go here, if you were to take, I think that would be fine. I think we're going to call this a delayed. Well, okay. Also, do I care if he goes here? I would just go here. I'm already here. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to say I'm actually okay if you take the central pawn. I'd rather you didn't. Let's be honest. But if you're going to, I think I can be okay with it. I get to develop. I was going to say, given another move, maybe now I do push. Because pushing now is a little more interesting, right? I'm hitting the knight. If they move the knight to say here, hitting this pawn, I think I'm going to go here. And then they're probably taking here. And then we're trading there. I'm just trying to decide, like, do I still care if they take this? I don't think I care, but I think this is interesting. I don't know. Am I wrong here? We're going to find out. As if they take, I'm taking back this way, hitting the knight. Wow. Okay. I got to admit, I was not expecting that. That is quite interesting. I'm kind of looking at this. So if I take here, they can't take back that way. They'd have to take that way. But then my queen is way out of play, and I don't think I want to do that. It just feels like it would be probably best to just develop with either this, or this. Those are the three moves I'm looking at. I think I like the idea of stopping the knight from being able to move. Yeah. I mean, I assumed that was coming. Okay. I think I can stay on this knight. And if they go here, I'm kind of like, okay. I think I can be happy with that. Their king is getting quite airy. Okay, so now we're really looking like we're in Benoni territory. And the question is, do I go here? I normally wouldn't. Yeah, no, that would be foolish. They could take back this way. I was kind of blinded for a second by a moment ago when they couldn't do that. This pawn is moving. Where? Here or here? So here certainly looks more menacing. I've got more space. I could threaten there. I'm not sure that would be good, but I could do that. Here looks a little tighter. Like this pawn isn't sticking out as much like a sore thumb. I tend to avoid e4 plays. I think this is good here, though. I think that should be good. And then now if they decide to take, I have the opportunity to take there if I want. Okay, so they're just pushing. So that's an interesting setup we have here. This pawn is very well placed, taking up a lot of space. I have to assume they're going to want to do something with one of these two to try to fight back, because right now they're getting pretty choked by my pawns. But if they could break through, then maybe they'd be in decent shape. So, I mean, the obvious move, right, is to move the bishop. We haven't castled yet. The bishop's in the way. Like, we should be looking at the bishop. Other possibilities? I just don't even really see any other moves that I'm taken by. I mean, something like this looks kind of intriguing, but they can just kick it away. It doesn't really do anything. Going something like this doesn't do anything. We're going to move the bishop. I just don't know where to move it. This just seems so blah, being stuck behind the pawns, but it is guarding both pawns. This seems like a fine spot. And I guess it is nice for when this comes, but I could just kick it anyway. I'm using way too much time on a move that really I don't think matters that much. Boy, I'm having such a hard time deciding. I'm gonna go here. The idea that after like this, now like if the two ideas are these two breakthroughs, after those breakthroughs, my bishop will come alive. So that seems reasonable. Okay, now what? We've developed all our pieces. The game is very closed. Being totally honest, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do now. All right, this is where chess becomes hard, when you're just kind of like, okay, all the pieces are kind of on their best spots. It's a very slow, closed game. I don't feel like there's much I have to prevent from my opponent. I think I'd kind of like to prevent this, and since I don't have like an active move I feel compelled to make, I'm going to go ahead and make that move. Quite possibly what I'm going to end up doing is exactly what my opponent's doing. It's backing up and then pushing this pawn. I do have to note that this bishop is hanging, so I'm going to need to do something with that. I think probably best is just trading it off, although their bishop is very bad. So this is an interesting question of like, if I come back here, my bishop is not doing much, but their bishop is, I don't know, would their bishop be doing more there? I think this is the move that's coming, or at least that they want to play. And if I were to go say takes with the rook, does it matter if my bishop's here or not here? I'm gonna trade it. I don't know. I don't know if that's right or not. I'm like, principles wise, it didn't seem right, but it just seemed like my bishop wasn't that great anyway. I kind of like this idea. Like, if they really want to push this as their main play in this position, can't we just prevent it by hanging our knight? Let's not do that. Let's not hang the knight. Okay, so if this comes next, I don't like taking here. This just doesn't look good to me. Trading these off, the rook lands here. This pawn is now kind of on its way. We've lost our control of this square, so I'm kind of thinking, what if we go here and regain full control of this square? But then what if they go here? How does that work? If I go here, and then they take, and I take, and I still have control of that square, I don't know, it feels very weakening. But I'm just having a hard time figuring out how to stop f5, and f5 just seems like not only good, but kind of the only move they have. And if I can prevent it, then I think I should be in good shape. And if they push here, I don't know, they're making some weaknesses. I mean, I've certainly made some weaknesses. Okay, that surprises me a bit. So now can't I go takes? I can't. I guess I can't go there. I don't have to worry about this necessarily. Kind of thinking about, like, what about king here? And if here, here kind of stuff? Probably not, because this is on this pawn, and then this guy can kind of sneak in. I just don't think taking and letting the queen just come in like this is that good of an idea. think I'm going to go here. And then takes, and I'm fine with that. Wait. There. Yeah, no. Next moves I'm considering are like takes. Ooh, okay. Blocking off that diagonal. Does that gain me anything? Not really. This is intriguing. But I think better is bringing the knight around this way. And if I can't go here first, because then the knight hangs, so I am going to finally go here with the idea of swinging around like that. I think that should be fine. Real quick, where is this knight going? What was the point of that? All right, I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go there. No, I think I'm going to go here next, if they let me. And then if takes, the rooks come in. They will have a sack idea that, I don't know, it could end up being scary. I'm a little surprised they haven't played like a6 to try to force through b5, or just play b5 to kind of shake things up, or f5, or try to make f5 happen. h5 feels very reasonable. If I were my opponent, I think I would be playing h5 and be pretty happy. The only problem is f5 is interesting if they play h5, so I'm hitting the queen. They kind of have to take. I take back with, I guess that almost has to be the knight so that I can protect g4. I don't know. It's interesting. I think h5 looks good, though. If they play h5, I might even take. I should have an interesting thing of h5, f4, takes, rook takes, and then if they were to take, rook takes, and I think I'm in very good shape. Yes, this is coming, but they'll have to move the queen first, and they kind of have to just move the queen away, and then I could slide in behind the rook, and now I'm threatening really big things. I don't know. An interesting spot where maybe they have to move the knight first, and they don't really have a good spot for the knight. Like knight b6 in this position doesn't seem great. I think then I just push f4, and maybe after that I'm pushing f5 actually. I'm just cutting off that bishop entirely. And then maybe I can work with like the G file and the H file. I'm not entirely sure how that works. This 15 minutes is working well because we would be very low in time already otherwise. This has been a fairly complicated positional game. I really think my opponent has played it weird. Like they let me have this big center and then haven't chipped away at it when they had f5 chances. They haven't tried anything like this or even to set it up. They haven't tried h5. It's kind of like, what are you doing? Like they're just kind of passively sitting back and letting me arrange everything how I want it, which I guess it can work, but you know, generally it's a dangerous game to play. And maybe they're kind of biding their time and they're going to play h5 at that critical moment that just really shakes me. And now that I'm thinking about it, if they play h5 and I go f4, Yeah, I guess if they take, I guess if they move, it'll be interesting. I could go by. I think I'm playing a f4 here. Takes. Yeah, I'm gonna play f4, and then if takes, I think I take with the rook. Okay, let's think about this. Are we taking with the rook? If we take with the rook, and they move, say, here, that looks like probably their best move. I guess at that point, I can just take. They take, threatening mate. I go like maybe here. Yeah, I think I like this. Because if they go here now, I can just go here. They almost have to go here first. And then I can go here. And I think leaving these open files around my king is okay. I don't know. Maybe that's madness to just be like, it's fine. So there's a bunch of open files on my king. So what? Okay. That is not what I was expecting. That might be an even better spot though. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, taking with the rook I think was a bad idea. Because now I didn't even realize like I can't even move the knight. I'm having a hard time with the queen. Like if I go take, how am I guarding this? I can't guard it with the rook. I can't come back and guard with the. No, I can guard with the knight now. I think that's what I do. Ooh, that's super interesting. Takes, guard with the knight. And now I'm offering a queen trade. But the queen, no, the queen trade doesn't lose the bishop. Well, everything is just barely hanging together. And what have I gotten for this? Like I had a really good position before. I don't know that I do anymore. Interesting idea. Push here. No, that does not work. He takes with check. Never mind. Just kidding. I'm just thinking, like, is there a way to attack this queen? I don't think there is. Yeah, I suddenly really am unhappy with my position, which is not great. Why did I give my opponent so much counterplay in this game? For no reason. I can't go here. That hangs the rook. Everything's hanging. It's horrible. And if I just go, say, here, and this is all going to fall anyway. So I'm going to go here. I do not love this idea. I'm not sure it's a good idea. I am doing it anyway. Well, and then if I go here, I'm on it, but man, we're really holding this thing together with bubble gum. All right, I'm gonna protect the pawn and hope my opponent doesn't have something spicy, because this queen is gonna get overworked. If the queen ends up guarding both of these pieces, that is not gonna work. And I can't like slide this back to guard this one, and I can't have this one guard this one. So like going here or something is frustrating. Yeah, I was gonna say I could go here. I can't go. I'd have to go here, I guess. And maybe this is actually pretty good. Although no, it doesn't fix the problem. It's still overworked. Takes here. Take back. This falls. And go the other way. The other one falls. So this might win. Yeah, that might be a winning move. What do I do? What do I do against this possibly winning move? I guess I just have to move the rook out of the way. Is what it comes down to. And this is kind of reasonable. Yeah, I just have to go like this. And I can go here next. I know I'm kind of threatening some stuff. And then maybe I can go here and end up guarding the pawn that way. Opponent does have this idea. I would take with, say, the bishop hitting the queen. Move the queen. This check comes. Man, I don't know. I really let my opponent have some stuff here. We'll just say that. That annoying queen keeps doing annoying queen things. That's a nice spot for the queen. I think I have to go here. Not sure I have another move. Okay. Over there. Ooh, this looks interesting. I would have to take. Takes, threatening mate. I can't go here. Ooh, no, I can go here. Oh my goodness. But then now this is available. Ay, ay, ay. That check's kind of bad for me. Yeah, I don't know. I really took a great position and was just like, hey, friend, how would you like to be the aggressor and just attack me? So, yeah, it'll be interesting to go through the analysis and kind of see, like, is there a moment or two? Maybe it was that G4. Maybe I was too intent on handling F5. I think the real problem was the knight takes knight, bringing the queen in. I think I just should not have done that. I resisted it for, like, a move, and I should have resisted longer. Interesting. So, if here, move the king, I would move it there. Then takes, and I don't like that. What else am I supposed to do here? My goodness. I suppose I could go here. And do what? Okay, so here, 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 here. Maybe here works? That's kind of interesting. All right, I don't really know what I'm doing at this point. Okay, I think I want to go here so I can stay connected to the knight. Okay. And after he takes here, I guess taking with the queen would probably be better. Although it is the knight. The knight's still trapped, though. It kind of looks like no matter which way he goes, in the end, if my opponent tries to win that rook, I think they end up losing the knight also. In that case, I think I would be doing pretty well. Okay, so I go there. If I go here, what? The knight can't go anywhere. No, it's not true. The knight can come out this way. Not that the knight needs to go anywhere. What if I did something like that? Give up the bishop. Go here. Threatening mate. Can he stop that mate? I guess he could by going there. Check. Nope. No, that wouldn't work. He does have a lot of checks, though. My guess is that does not work, but I don't know that I have something better. So here takes here. Oh, right. No, he can't go there, but he could go... No, he can't go there either. You know what? I'm going to do it. I've got 3 minutes left. This game is in bad shape. We're going to throw all the pieces to the wind. Take that bishop. I dare you. My opponent's probably like, okay, that sounds great. Wait, why did I move here? I was supposed to move here. Oh, wow. What a colossal mistake that was. Okay, well, now the game is very over. What? What happened? How? This game is maddening. Just maddening. That's all. That's all. Just maddening. So the queen is supposed to be here, threatening mate in 1. That was the whole point of all of this. And I just plopped the queen down on the wrong square. So, yeah. That is going to be game. Interestingly, my opponent has no checks. If I had gone here, I don't even know what they would have done. Would that have just been... Well, I guess they could have moved the rook. Check. Here. Check. Comes out. But it's still interesting at that point. Mistakes are annoying. I think my opponent's probably like, what exactly is this person doing? Okay, well, my opponent's really thinking about this one. I mean, it's a good thing to think about if you're worried. They're winning by so much. Probably the move is some sort of knight move. Well, I guess the knight can't move that well. Maybe like here, threatening that fork. They're at least going to get the check. Very maddening, though. I was definitely flustered by the situation, and I think that is why I put it on the wrong square. It was not a mouse click, to be clear. It was a brain misclick. Okay, well. It's not fun to lose, and it's even less fun to lose when your opponent thinks really carefully about how they're going to destroy you. Oh, I forgot to turn on the lights for this. That was a step I missed. Okay, well, this one will be a darkness one, which is kind of perfect for this game. This game is darkness. Well, friend, what do you want to do, man? I mean, this is a pretty long think here. We're up to like 3 minutes. And I don't even really have it. Like, I would love to go through this position in more detail, like all the possibilities, but what possibilities, right? Like, I really blundered away my counterplay. I'm also, to be clear, I'm not saying Queen H5 was like the move that's going to win the game or something, but it was definitely an interesting move that gave me something. And now I'm in a really bad spot. Because almost no matter what my opponent does, I'm going here, which is the move I meant to do. So, I think a good lesson for me is tonight. So because I work during the day, today was a very hard work day. And I was like, I don't really have as much brain power as I sometimes do. So I kind of waffled over whether I would play a longer game tonight, whether I would record a game. And I think it's just kind of an interesting reality of life is the older I get to really like, it's fine for my online rapid rating because it's not as valuable to me. These are learning opportunities, but especially for, say, a USCF tournament or something, do I get to a point where I start to say, like, this isn't the day for me? Like, I'm just more tired. I had a lot harder work day. These are definitely sort of questions ancillary to chess that are often been floating around lately. What is even happening? Am I gonna win on time? Like, did this person just leave the match or something? This is very interesting. Well, we might as well turn on some lights, I guess. All right, we can light this up. You can see me in my full glorious misery. There we go. Now I'm well lit as I'm losing. Well, opponent of mine, what's the deal here? You know what we can do, actually? We could fix... No, never mind. It's fine. I don't like losing. This is one of the reasons why it can be so hard in classical games when you have a really bad position. It's just really hard to be resilient when, say, there's an hour left and you're just like, well, I'm basically lost, but I don't want to resign. I want to keep giving it my all. It's just a really hard thing to do, to be resilient for a very long time. Does he have a mate in one I'm missing or something? Is that what's going on? I was like, I can't. For a brief second, I was like, oh my goodness, I missed this. No, I did not miss that. There's just no way for the queen in. I really think my opponent is just kind of baffled that they don't have a win here. Like, they don't have just an outright winning move. Okay, so they've got that move. That's a good move. Oh, okay. It doesn't work how I was thinking it was going to work. Okay, it does. So the problem is, now if I go here, threatening mate, they get to go here. And it only trades, but a trade is plenty right now. They don't actually need to win. They just need to trade. So, I don't know. What am I supposed to do with that? Do I go, like, here? No. A little bit tempted to go here to set up even more possibilities. Just imagine if my queen was here. I would win. I think I might have had a real chance at winning had my queen been there. Because I think if nothing else, I get to pick up that rook. It's very maddening that I came up with a pretty good idea. We have to get past it, right? This is the thing. I did this last game where I was not able to shake off a mistake that didn't even end up being that critical. This time it is. So if I go here, whatever, I'm going to go here. And if my opponent goes here, and I have to move my king, and they take my knight and trade, so be it. Oh, interesting. I have a mate now of check, takes, here, mate. That's quite interesting. Okay, so he goes there. I go, I don't know, here? And then he goes here. I go here. I think every way is going to be bad. What if I go here? And then takes. Alright, I guess I'm going to go here. Sure. I have to imagine they're taking, and then I'll take back. Or I miss a mate in one, whatever. Okay. I don't even know what to say there. I was dead anyway. I'm very curious to see, though, the first thing I want to look at is, had I not messed up, and had I made the move I should have done, and gone here, and here, and here, is this just game? Like, did I make the ultimate comeback? There are no checks. If my opponent makes the move they made in the game, which was this, they would get mated. So obviously they can't do that. So I got to turn on the engine. Is there a move here? No. White is just winning. That is hilarious. White's best move is, or black's best move is this. That's the best move in the position, because if they try to save the game by moving over, let's say they move over to here, they're getting mated in this pattern. Wow. So yeah, I found it. I found the move and dropped the queen on the wrong square. Utterly maddening. Okay, so I'm losing here. Oh, actually, it says this does not work. This actually doesn't work because they don't have to take here. But if they take here, then they lose. They could go here. Now I can't go here. If I go here, then they take. So maybe it's fine. How about we'll just assume that my opponent would have found the best move, and then I wouldn't have instantly won the game. But it was maddening. More importantly, though, what happened? How did we get there? That's okay. So right here, I don't even really know what to do. Right? Knight c3 is certainly a move. The number one database move is d5, and then if here, and we're in like this Benoni-like structure, which I was fine going into, but I decided to go there first. The funny thing is now no one does this. So I don't. What's the big difference here? Engine says white's doing great. Black would go there. Hitting this. Interestingly, d6 is the move here. d6? What? d6 looks very weird. We're now hanging two different pawns. No, okay, this one's not hanging. So this pawn is actually really choking. So I guess I see that. I guess it's worth even letting this happen, even though it looks like they're on that. Engine says e4. Takes. We're down two pawns. Oh, but this ends with the pawn fork. Okay, that is kind of wild. So I didn't do that. But they stunningly moved their knight back, and I was just like, well, I'm clearly winning now, right? There's just no way I'm not winning. I guess let's see what the engine thinks I should do here. I am curious. Bishop g5 is not amongst its top moves. d6 is the number one move. I looked at that and I liked the idea of it, but I just thought, like, well, now I'm just letting them come back. And yes, this is choking them, but it's not that great. But I can now see the engine says 4.5 this, and so I can see that, yes, this is very good. So I totally missed this idea of how strong d6 was. I also looked at this move and just kind of rejected that as like, so what? I don't see what that does. And then I also looked at e4. These were all moves I was looking at, but I decided to bring the bishop out first. Drop the bishop back, d6, and then e4. So the engine says e4 is fine. Just real quick, is e3 better according to the engine? I'm just curious. No, they're about the same. Engine says I should be taking here. I don't know. I didn't take there. Okay. So, oh yeah. And this move is weird. Because like we talked about, now I have this really great pawn center and they just basically have to get one of these pushes in or things are going to be bad. All right, so developing this bishop is fine according to the engine. Castling. We're not going to use the engine for now. We're just going to look at it. This seems like a reasonable move to me. Like we're in a positional situation. This is a move. This is what we need to look at with the engine and with our minds. Is this a good idea? Let's say I do this so that I can play f4 and my opponent just plays f5. Do I care? Or do I just play f4 back? And let's say take. My knight's in a great spot. They take. My rook is doing well. No, my rook is hanging. Okay, so maybe I can't do it quite like that. All right, let's see what the engine thinks here about g4. G4 is a bad idea. G4, and I noticed this right away that h5 looks pretty good for black. So I don't know why I did g4. Well, the computer says it's just develop or do this. Okay, so what happens to f5? That's the thing I'm so terrified of. So Angel says take. Take back, and this is the line I calculated, right? That now they have this rook here on the half open file. Why am I giving this for no reason? This pawn looks decent now. Like, it went from a closed position I was dominating to a more open position where black looks totally fine to me. Like, it looks like they're going to go here, double up, and I don't even know what I have to show. The computer says that I have a slight edge. I would go here, but it seems like they would just go there. Now my queen looks out of place, so it's going to move over here. And yeah, I don't know. Computer says 0.8 edge for white. I don't buy it. Like, I don't understand why this would be a 0.8 edge for white. Maybe someone out there watching can understand better why this is not pretty darn good for black. Now it's even worse. Okay. I'm just making moves that look reasonable. Okay, yeah, I guess that doesn't work because we have that. All right, so maybe this is the deal, that while it looks like black has a lot going for them, white does have some tactical, interesting stuff of this combination. I mean, black doesn't have to fall into it, right? Black could just move stuff around. I don't know. Interesting stuff for sure, but that's what I didn't want to see happen. It's very odd to me that the computer's like, hey, that thing you were afraid of, white's winning there, and now this move you made, black's winning, which I do buy. I don't think this was the right move. I think h5 was, but actually I think it's fine because they can play h5 next. The computer says the number one mover right up there is to take, but it's actually to go here first. Now not taking, which I buy. So let's see. Let's say I wasn't going to take. Why not just go here and then go here? That seems quite good. Let's say h5 I think is a good move. Let's say they don't do it. Say they move the rook over, or no, better yet, they want to develop the bishops. They go here. Very interesting. Engine says f3 is its move, not f4. I think I can see why. Because with f4, it's takes, and then the knight actually gets to jump into a very nice square, even attacking the bishop. But even if it wasn't attacking the bishop, it's just like, that's a nice square. And if we go here, this knight isn't doing anything, and this f4 idea just brings the knight into the game. So that's a pretty basic positional thing that I didn't have a good enough hold on. For some reason, I was pretty intent on playing f4. And yeah, it's not a great plan. Yep, h5 is a very good move. Again, f4, no, not a great idea. Like, we can see we're really weakening the king, and we're letting the knight in. It's just kind of like, what did you just do? It's this little sequence. It's like, what are you even doing? And I didn't consider for a second f3. Just a very strong move if they try to take, and we just take back. We're like, okay. Now the king's totally safe. My rook's on a half open file. It's a fine. That's really baffling that I was able to hone in f4 as an idea, and I absolutely could not see f3 as even a possibility here, when what I was worried about was, what do I do after takes? I was like, well, I don't really want to take here. There's nothing else I could do. I could just move to f3. Okay, chess is hard. Turns out this game's hard. So takes, knight's in, and now the computer's like, what are you even doing? It's minus 3 already. Like, you're just cooked here. Took because I didn't know what else to do. Protect the pawn, and now my opponent just does a good job of continually bringing the pressure. It just gets greater and greater, and I crack so hard that I put the queen on the wrong square instead of here, which just loses the game. Well, I mean, the game was lost, but double loses the game, we'll say. That's the second game loss. Okay, so takeaways. Giant takeaway is I don't think I was okay. How do I want to say this? It comes back to the G4 idea that like I was so thinking like I don't want to give them this break that I was willing to make a move that I knew was problematic. Like I just knew that this was going to be a problem. Everything's pointed over here. I went for it anyway because I was like, ooh, this is a cool, subtle way to stop F5. So it's basically like this misevaluation of me thinking F5 is so good. I'm willing to like throw away all the solidity in my position to stop that move. It felt like grandmaster games I read of like, okay, it's a positional game now. We're gonna take away F5, which is their main move in this position. But just not really taking seriously how much my opponent can do other things after I do that. And also just totally misevaluating F5. And then the other big takeaway is another positional one. That's just like, when we're here, F4 is just a bad idea. Like, even if, I don't know how to say it, but like, even if it didn't like totally wreck my king's position, just like letting this terrible knight go to a great square, I was like, what are you doing? Why are you just being like, hey knight, come on in. I know you didn't have a spot before. Come on in. Let's join the party. Come on in. Like, that's just a ridiculous idea. And then not seeing F3 is like, what? I mean, this is a very basic solution to the problem that I was trying to solve. Like, if I wasn't trying to solve that problem, I would just be like, okay, the engine has an idea I didn't consider, it's fine. But I was trying to solve the problem of what do I do when takes here. And I didn't even think like, ooh, I could just F3. Like, that's a pretty basic solution. And I think it's because I was so tunnel visioned on this idea of F4, of that's the break I want to make, then my rook comes alive. Like, I was so tunnel visioned on that idea that F3 was just totally out of question. So those are the big takeaways. This game was really quite disastrous for me. I feel like I had a very good position, a very good positional position that I threw away with bad positional play. So that is disappointing. So hopefully you enjoyed the episode. I'll see you next time on the road to 2200.